Hello, everyone. Roger Connect, President, Universal Accounting Center. And today we're going to be talking with Viswa with Global. I get tongue-tied every time I say that. Tongue-tied saying Global Accounting. So what we're going to do is, as we start this conversation, is I just want to first of all mention that I've been in communication with Viswa for some time now, nearly a year, and in that conversation, we've actually begun some operations over in the country of India, which is your native country. So this is going to be a fun little discussion that is even beyond what we personally cover in these highlight webinars. So first of all, Viswa, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Roger.
So when we first met, one of the things that we did is we did have dinner together, and then the following day we spent time discussing a number of things. And I took you up to the mountains here in Utah and showed you the snow. How was that?
Yeah, it's good. It's my first time experiencing live real snow.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's good. We don't have snow often in India.
Well, it's one of those things you could check off your bucket list and tell your kids about.
Yes,
that is very true. So why don't we get to kind of your history and have you share with everyone what drew you to accounting? What was that first introduction to accounting and why you chose this career?
Like from my schooling, I was drawn towards the commerce subjects. So I thought like it would be good for me to take accounting. As I started for my Indian CPA, I have to do a 3 years apprenticeship under a Indian CPA, which gave me the first taste of how the accounting would be and how the taxation. Then after that 3 years, I have decided that this is what I am going to do. So I have completed my Indian CPA, then I am a US CPA.
Now that I think is an interesting story because obviously you got into your schooling, you worked under the apprenticeship or as an apprentice to a CPA, but why then the accounting for the United States? Why become a CPA in the US?
So after doing my Indian CPA, I joined as an accountant and as an assistant manager, and then leveled up my career into a manager in the US accounting field, where I experienced how the US accounting works for small and medium businesses and what is that. And then I decided that, okay, this is what I am going to do. Like it intrigued me how to help, like they need a lot of help, the US businesses and the CPA firms from people like us. So I started my career into US accounting and tax.
Now, just for people who are not familiar with this, obviously at the time you were still in India and you needed to take care of some things so that you could actually come to the United States and become a CPA. Tell us a little bit about that time in your history.
It's very scary for first time coming to the US without knowing anything in a different country, and it's very hard for some non-US citizens or non-US people to get the information from AICPA or all the different things. We have to go through long process of waiting due to the difference in time zone, and when we call the AICPA, they'll not be there, and we have to wake up till night and call them. Then I enrolled in some coaching centers in India who do teach US accounting and CPA. Then I came to US in 2015 January. I've been in US for 45 days and completed my US CPA.
Very good. And congratulations for doing so. That's a huge accomplishment, and I commend you for having done that. Accomplishing that here in the United States is a significant thing, but to come over from India and get that additional credential is, I think, amazing, and it's very, very important. So now you're in a position where you're a CPA in India, you're a CPA now in the United States.
Yes.
What was next on your career? What was that next step for you to then take?
So after completing my US CPA, I started my own. I didn't thought of working under someone, so I started my own. I started with freelancing for few companies in US, and then I grown up my own practice or accounting organization, the business processing operations. And then currently now I have 100+ employees under me, and we support many US businesses and CPA firms.
I love what you've done, and I'm excited to have you share that story. But I want to go back to that entrepreneurial drive that you had. Obviously, becoming the CPA, both in India and the United States, it
Yes.
wasn't enough to just simply go now to work and be busy and further your career. You chose to start your own business. What was
Yes.
that drive that was causing you to
Mhm.
want to go out on your own and do this by yourself?
I think it is in our blood. We are a family of merchants. In India, our community is into trading or business, not into job. So it might be in my blood, but yeah, all my family, my father is a businessman himself. So entrepreneurship is in and we have it from our childhood that we have to set up our own business and uh, not work under someone.
So this was obviously a family thing. You were brought up in that spirit of being independent and having that freedom
Yes.
of running your own business. So this
Yes.
was then that chance to create your own
Mhm.
business and kind of take what you've been brought up as and now do it in the accounting world.
Yes, yes, and also once you got certified, and I am having a dual certification like an Indian CPA and a US CPA. The risks are less. Like I can go out and try for a couple of years. If it didn't work, I can always go and join back in the corporate as an employee. It's yeah,
That is always an option, but obviously it's
yes,
not one you've taken because, as you shared a little bit ago, you actually have grown your business. It's not just you. You've got over 100 individuals now offering
yes.
accounting services. Now, just to
Mhm.
be clear, do you have accounting clients both in India and the United States, or is it primarily United States companies that you're doing the accounting for?
Both. We do both Indian and US and Canadian as well, but mostly it is US and Canada. India, we
Yes.
have recently started up.
And that was actually going to be my next question is, other than those two countries, were there others? And obviously you just said Canada, and that's phenomenal. So
Yes.
because of that, I think it's led you to have an amazing life because obviously you've traveled now outside of India. You came to the United States to get certified. You've been
Hmm.
back, and in coming back, you've been meeting with your clients. You've met with myself and us
Yes.
here at Universal Accounting. So I guess the
Hmm.
question I would have is, in your travels, what have you experienced that's kind of stood out, especially when meeting with your clients?
Uh, yeah, what stood out is mostly like to say US is more advanced in terms of infrastructure than what we have back in India. And yeah, and everything is big in US. They say, like, I went to the convention centers in Las Vegas, and they are like huge and humongous. And I've been to Texas. Like it's a big state, and the infrastructure is what it makes it more difference. Back here to US, you have items which you take granted, which we not have it in back in India. Like, you don't obviously see a power cut, uh, very rare, but it is daily frequent for us. And the roads and the wider roads and all, we don't have it. Like,
There are some distinct differences as you go
yes,
country to country, and that's
yes,
important. I think more than anything is it helps us each appreciate when we go home the things that we
yes,
have at home. And
yes.
so that's, I think, powerful. So here's a question regarding accounting. Obviously,
Mhm.
you've got a number of clients, you're working with them. Share with us a
Yes.
story of how you feel you've made a difference, a positive impact in the client
Mhm.
that you're working.
Yeah, we support individual businesses as well, accounting firms and CPA firms. I'm going to share a story about brief story about a CPA firm based out of uh, Denver. They were a growing firm when they came approached us for a solution for their client servicing. They are around 10 people back then, and they are looking for someone like us to provide effective solutions in the market. And when they came to us, we helped them in standardizing the processes, documenting everything, and helping them to automate most of the tasks, and give us the basic tasks like bookkeeping and accounting and month close and everything, so they can concentrate on customer service, which is very important for firms in US. So now they are freed up in the day-to-day tasks like bill.com, APAR. Everything is taken by care by our team, and they are mostly in customer facing jobs, like presenting the financials and helping them out for the board meetings kind of things.
Very
So we
good.
help them be competitive and grow. Now they are like 20-member team in US and 20-member team in India with us.
Excellent, because obviously as the company's growing, they've turned to you for that information that they need to be making more informed business decisions. And so
Yes.
having you be their accounting firm is obviously helping them meet that specific need, and that's wonderful. So regarding the fact that you started your own business, and I would have to admit, starting a business by itself is a daunting task, but you did it internationally. So what
Yes.
advice would you have for someone who's also in the process of starting their own business?
When I say like starting their own business, many people have said, you have to have the love or the affection towards that job what you are performing. Otherwise, you won't succeed in the business, because it's not certain whether you will get a client or you will get a business, or it will take time to settle. Like for me, it took me around 2 years time to think, okay, I got it done, and now I don't have to turn back to a job or something. So for staying that hard, or staying that about don't not thinking about the profits, it takes us some guts, or this thing which comes only when you love what you are doing.
I would have to agree with you. There is something to be said for the passion. When you're passionate
Yes.
about something and you love it, you're willing
Yes.
to work through some of the challenges that obviously will
Challenges.
come up. And if you
Hmm.
are passionate and you love it, one of the things that
Yes.
happens is as these challenges arise, you have a little bit more drive to push through it and make them actually, go away or get addressed rather than quitting
Yes.
and giving up. And if you don't have
Yes.
that passion, that love for the work, it is hard
Yes.
to find that inner strength, that energy to keep going. So
Yes.
that's great advice.
Hmm.
The second question I have for you is, you've obviously built a very thriving, large accounting business, especially
Hmm.
on an international level. What advice would you have for any peers in the accounting profession, individuals that, like you, have an accounting business, they have clients? What advice do you have for them?
For the peers, like people who has accounting firm serving clients, like we need to see always what value proposition we bring them as a firm to the clients of us, what with our services, like what value proposition we bring. Clients no longer want just accountants, but they want to see us as consultants nowadays. Like in earlier days, we used to say like, this is my hourly charge, or for my accounting or tax services, this is the services I provide, and this is the price for these services. Now it all changed. Like they wanted as a consultants, we need to go and see, identify what problems they have and provide solutions as a consultant. The old time accounting, like, okay, I provide accounting and this is my hourly rate, has gone now.
So when you're saying that these firms like you need to be more engaged with their clients and offering more services, can you give an
Yes.
example of how you feel your firm is different than just a traditional accounting firm? What have you done to stand out and be different for your clients?
So when we go for a client, like we see their processes, what they are doing currently, and as we have a tiered pricing, not an hourly or something which grows or comes down as the business grows. So we try to automate and most of the tasks, routine tasks, which they have, like a bookkeeping, or we use different apps like bill.com and these expensify kind of solutions for them. And now automation has seeped into everything. So QuickBooks Online has a lot of functionality into it, and we recommend them different systems based on our other customers, what they do, and provide a solution for them.
Very good. Okay. I like how you've described that. Very good. So here's my next question. There's a
Mhm.
lot going on in the accounting professions. Debits are
Yes.
still debits, credits are still credits.
Mhm.
However, there's a lot of change now afoot in the accounting profession. And so I'm kind of curious, what are you seeing in the next few years that might be of interest?
Yeah, like as we have discussed, or we have seen in different like news or something, automation as is coming up and everything is going to change. I see it already being done with the QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks different apps which integrate. Now we don't have it these in, like when I started in 2010, we don't have anything like bill.com or which syncs into QuickBooks or the QuickBooks Online bank feeds where we create the rules now, and everything is changing. We have to be very top on the technology. That is what mainly has changed. Like I I say to my employees once in a while, like if we have these set of clients in back in 2010 or when I started my US accounting, we would be needing at least 200 to 250 people to do the same work. Now we are 100.
I think that is exactly the same thing I would say. It's the fact that in the last few years, the technology is becoming available to us to automate and simplify a lot of the processes that we do for our clients, allowing us to better serve them, but more importantly, do so at a lesser cost while still retaining the same fee for the services that we're providing. That expertise that we have still has a cost, and obviously we're providing a very valuable service that benefits the company, and we can do so more profitably now. That's I think some very important benefits to now having seen an accounting business for the last 10 years as you have. You can definitely see, okay, this is what's happened over the last, say, 5 years to help you really grow your business and do so profitably. Here's an interesting question that I'd have for you. Just kind of a side note, on a personal level, what is something you're personally passionate about? What gets you excited out of the bed and ready to work every day?
It's about the jobs I have created. That is, I am very passionate about how many people I am able to change the lives of so many people by giving them the opportunity of creating the jobs. Like in India, we have a survey that for every one job created, there are 3 indirect jobs. So for me, while going to bed, I think, okay, I have 100 people, so I have created 400 jobs. That is what takes me through ups and downs. Or I really don't see my last month profit. Okay, I made this much or something. Yeah, no, I have enough cash to pay salaries for next month. I'm good.
That's true. You know, once you get to the point that your fixed costs are taken care of and the expenses are no longer an issue, your mind starts to then focus on these other things that are so much more important, I think, because you truly can make a difference in people's lives. You can better the community, and most importantly, make a difference on a very, very important level, which is the community at large, and more importantly, individuals that are in your lives. So well said. So the other question, just kind of out of fun and out of curiosity, you travel a lot. You have been internationally around the world. What is your go-to comfort food? What's that food item that you like that you, if you needed to sit down and go to it, is something you look forward to?
Like in US, I like the donuts. They are sweet and they are very good. Just last week I went to some shopping mall and I bought some donuts for my kids. They like them very much.
Very good. Okay.
And then coming to the food specialty, I like to try different foods like Thai specialties, or then KFC. We have in India also, we have the KFC. So yeah, when I went to Singapore last year, I experienced how KFC has the menu different for each country. They'll make it more customized for each country, and it blows my mind. Like, okay, for us, we cannot give tailor-made solutions for all clients. Each client is a different, and they have their different unique requirements, which which reminded me like KFC has like different menus in each country. It's not universally the same. We have to do the same for our clients. We have to tailor products or services to them.
Yeah, as a business owner, you're noticing these things and you're applying them to your own company. That's, I think, fascinating. And I think it's very true. As I'm interacting with other companies, as I'm a customer of theirs, I learn from those experiences as to what it is we can be offering to help those around us. So I like that. That's well said. As you bring up food, one of the things that I noticed is when I go to Hawaii, they have at McDonald's, of all places, a rice and also spam and eggs My daughter loves rice, and whenever we go, she gets her rice with her meals as opposed to the hash brown or the fries. And for whatever reason, spam is something that takes me back to my father. I remember having spam and eggs with my father when we would go camping up at our cabin, and he would make those for me as a child. So I don't get spam anywhere else, and many people don't like spam. But you go to Hawaii, and McDonald's has added spam to the menu. So when I go to Hawaii, I always enjoy getting spam there. So that's something I can relate to.
Yes.
All right. So with this all, I'd like to just obviously thank you for taking the time to share with us your story. I think what you've done is phenomenal. Not only having the desire to get into accounting and going so far as to doing more than just getting your CPA there in India, but also getting a dual CPA license also here in the United States to start your own business, to grow it, offering quality services in India, in the United States, in Canada, to the point that you have that large firm there of over 100 employees, says a lot to the fact that you're passionate about what you do, you're good at what you do, and I think you are obviously an inspiration to so many, many people, and I appreciate that. So do you have any final thoughts, anything more you'd like to add?
Like as I mentioned, for my peers in accounting and everything, the automation or the technology is changing a lot. So the basic bookkeeping and stuff is going away. So we need to be like consultants where we help in tax planning and financial projections, and these kind of stuff only will remains in future.
Very good.
Like,
And isn't it true that you also work for some accounting firms in the United States and Canada offering offshore accounting services to be their back end, their support as well? Isn't that a service that you now provide?
Yes, we provide. We act as a back office team for many CPA firms and help them maintain the costs and be competitive in the market. We use different technologies like Slack and Hangouts or Bill.com, everything what US firms use, and in helping them support the end clients.
Well, one of the things that I think is very important about that service is the fact that here in the United States, there is oftentimes a difficulty finding good quality staff and doing so at an affordable rate. And I don't mean affordable in the sense of discounted. Obviously, we need to be paying well. But the point is there are a number of firms that I'm familiar with that they're growing, they're taking on clientele, but they get to a point where they struggle to know how are they going to service all of them, and to have your services as a resource, as a back office solution to help them continue to grow and take on new clients and, more importantly, service them, but do so knowing that they've got this resource behind them that you're able to provide is, I think, a very valuable solution, and something that some firms definitely need to consider. Offshoring is an option, and it does give you some great access to quality individuals who can definitely provide the accounting services that you're needing. So what I'm going to do is, in the description below, I'm going to include some contact information for Viswa. If that happens to be some information you'd like to know about as to how you can actually expand and grow your accounting business in the United States, in Canada, but receive the support, the back office help with Viswa's team. So with that in mind, thank you, Viswa, for taking the time to share with us your story and your experience and what it is you're seeing in the accounting profession. And most importantly, everyone, just remember this: if it's about accounting, it is universal. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Roger. Bye. Have a great day.